Hey everybody, it is your girl Shea Kool-Aid here.
And I'm Ra'Jah O'Hara.
And welcome to the very last episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Fashion Photo Review.
UK versus the world. You better.
I wore purple in honor of you today, Miss Ra'Jah O'Hara.
I live for that. Thank you so much. It warms my heart. It looks like you're somewhere different. Where are you, girl?
I'm in LA, had some work to do, but nothing could stop me from tooting and booting the looks from this amazing runway, girl. This week's theme is Grand Finale Eleganza Extravaganza.
Please welcome the eliminated queens.
This is becoming a really bomb-ass tradition, allowing the queens to come back one more time and show what they would have worn for the finale.
Now that we're down to the finale, I'm so excited that we get to see all 9 of them. So I'm expecting all of the Werqs, the bells and the whistles, okay? Elegant, but to the next level, okay? Mm-hmm. It's got the little accent on it, so you know it's elegant. Okay?
Yes.
Extravaganza is extravagant.
I feel like every runway should be building up for us to see this final look.
On the runway, category is Grand Finale Eleganza Extravaganza.
First up, we have Lemon.
Oh, Miss Lemon. She's come with a stunt. Okay, I live for the maple leaf of it all. Mm-hmm. What I wish was better, though, was the actual outfit and the hair.
I think that this concept is such a strong concept. It is such a great representation of Canada. I think it's really cool that she wanted to really rep her home country. I really do love the concept. I'm a little bit struggling with whether it fits the runway theme. If there was one thing that I would change about it, it would definitely be the center front. The way that she kind of has this tuxedo front going on. It reminds me of like a Canadian Mountie. And if that was the case, I would have loved to see her and one of the hats, because I feel like that would have added, a little bit more interest. The hair is just, very like regular, kind of like pedestrian, real woman. For the center front, what I would have done is probably done a nude illusion to just kind of open it up, make it sexy, because it's kind of swallowing her. She has the turtleneck and then she has the hair. Overall, I think it's a really cool look and it's a really cool concept. I just feel like maybe it would have been better for a different runway challenge.
The element that I love is the maple leaf, and I believe that may be the only element of this that I love. I love the fact that the whole thing is absolutely stoned. Like, the material is everything.
There are like certain crystals sometimes that when you put stage lights on them, they don't shine to their utmost brilliance. And for something this scale, for the scale of this look, the stones should have been bigger, because then it would have really given you the illusion of stones versus something that feels like it's kind of like glitter. My first instinct is a soft toot.
I'm gonna have to give it a boot. Sorry, girl. Up next, Cheryl Ho.
Okay, Cheryl. I think that this color red is beautiful. This gown is much more in line with Grand Finale Eleganza Extravaganza. She's bringing volume. I feel like this is really one of like the nicest looks that we've seen Cheryl Ho in, where I feel like this look could improve. She kind of has this like Tudor style, corset that's like coming up pretty high. This is a moment where we want to start thinking about proportionizing. I would have dropped that neckline probably probably a full 3 inches. I would have taken that down a lot more to open up the chest to give the illusion of a little bit more neck.
especially the neckline, because it cuts her off in a weird position. So dropping it at least 3 inches is exactly the amount of inches that I said that I was thinking in my head too, was 3 inches. That way we can get an illusion of a bust.
The like front skirt that's like draping in the front is hitting her at a really good point. I think it's just as short as it needs to be. The fabric choice. Now, this taffeta is not like the heaviest, and we're really going for a lot of volume. Now, what I would have done would have been to do some light interfacing on the inside of this to give it just a little bit more structure so that it floated with her. Right now, it's kind of dragging. It feels a little bit heavy.
Maybe some tulle underneath the taffeta would definitely help.
As far as the flowers are concerned, I don't think that they're needed at all. I don't feel like they elevate or add anything to the look. I kind of actually think that the flowers are a little bit of a distraction.
I feel like she actually doesn't need the flowers, like you said, but since she did add the flowers, go overboard with the flowers. Like, go overkill, make it extremely, you know, especially on the one side and the shoulder. She could have went even bigger to make it a little bit more dramatic. I think Cheryl looks great. I feel like this is the best that we've seen Cheryl. And I actually am going to toot it.
I'm going to join you. I'm going to give this look a toot as well. Next up, we have this bimbo Jimbo.
Oh, this is absolutely stunning. I love how Jimbo has mixed both the maple leaf and the mousse together to give us this couture, alien-esque witch vampire character. I absolutely live for this material that she's used that's a like snake skin almost.
Like scaled kind of sequin.
Oh, I absolutely love the hair, the makeup.
I'm not loving it. I don't feel like the headpiece is doing her really any service. It took me a moment to be like, oh, you know, moose antlers. I feel like had it been larger in scale, it would have read a little bit more for me. The hair, I probably would have done an updo. Look, I am obsessed with seeing long necks and décolletage. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like when there's too much hair and so much happening around here, it gets distracting for me. So that's a styling thing. The dress itself is a beautiful dress. It's just not giving me enough Eleganza Extravaganza.
I feel that.
I felt like this one fell a little bit short.
But for me, this most definitely is like the elevated, elegant version of Jimbo. Of course, I think like the antlers and the maple leaves are very much like reminiscent of her humor and her personality. I feel like this is her being very sultry and sexy. So I'm still buying it.
Yes, you better. She's selling it and you're buying it. So what do you give this look, Ra'Jah?
I'm gonna give it a 2. It's not like a major 2, but I love it.
I've seen Jimbo turn that corner and have had my socks knocked off, and I was really expecting that reaction this time, and it didn't happen for me. So only because Jimbo has set the bar so high as far as my expectations are concerned, this one's gonna be a boo.
Next up, Panchina heels.
Good old Panchina. I feel like this look perhaps might be giving commentary to some type of British colonization in Thailand. I think that is a really clever way to kind of like bring in her Thai culture into this UK versus the world competition. I love the hair. I love the makeup. The Elizabethan ruff that she has going on is really beautiful. I love that it's mimicked in the skirt as well. The boots are a boot for me. I don't feel like they're really doing much of a service to it now. Had she had done kind of like one of those like pilgrim shaped heels and had it been something like that with like some lacy applique on the front, something to make it a little bit more English, I think that would have been really cute. I see the headpiece.
I was gonna say the headpiece probably, you know, it's like a throwback to
week 1. Definitely very reminiscent of that.
I love the detailing of each and every element of this. It looks very expensive. What cheapens it for me is the boot. If we're gonna do a thigh-high boot, let's do it laced.
Yes. Had it been like laced up the front to make it seem a little bit more like it had historical references.
I feel like the boot just seems like an afterthought. And I also want a little bit more color in her cheek, because if we're gonna go there, let's go there. But I absolutely love the detailing of this. The craftsmanship, you can see how expensive and how much time was taken to actually make this. So I'm absolutely living for the garment. The boot is an absolute boot, but the garment for me is definitely a toot.
Absolutely. It's gonna be a toot for me with a boot for the boot. Next up, we have Janie J.K.
She says that this dress is paying homage to her hometown in Holland, especially with the tulips at the bottom. It's real campy. It's not really what I would have expected from Janie J.K. because she hasn't really shown a lot of camp humor with her fashion. I'm really interested to see this from her. I feel like the hair is that beautiful color that looks great on her, but the style necessarily does not read. It looks like maybe a part of the clouds. Maybe that's where she was going with it. This nail on the glove is wearing me out. The crew neck of the dress is so problematic for me, especially for drag queens that have broad shoulders. So I just feel like there's so much going on with this dress and none of it is really connecting.
I actually don't dislike this look. I feel like it's just a couple little tweaks that would have helped it. First of all, I would have loved to have seen more of a cinch and some more hips so that we could get a really nice silhouette. You know, that hourglass silhouette, because, you know, she's wearing this stretch crushed velvet. That's not going to give you any structure. So you need to make sure that the body that you're wearing underneath it is giving you all the shape that you need. I'm torn with the tulips that are on the skirt because I feel like it would have been nice if, like, at the bottom, at the base of the trim, there was a fabric that was like mimicking grass. So it didn't just feel like the tulips were just part of the sky. You know, it would have grounded it to be like, aha, you know, there's like this green kind of like grass moment at the bottom and then the tulips were laid over that. I think that would have helped to kind of just like complete the image. I would remove the nails from the gloves and I would switch the neckline to be like probably either like asymmetrical or like a boat neckline that comes all the way out to the shoulders. This to me has been the most interesting piece that I've seen her bring down the runway. And I think that it's a great representation of Holland.
I love how camp it feels for Janie J.K. But, you know, for me, at this stage, if we are changing and adding and doing all of the extras, the whoopity-doos to the dress, it's a miss. So I'm gonna have to say, boo.
Although there are some things that I would change about it, overall, I would give this look a 2.
And now, our top 4. First up is Bag of Chips.
When Bag of Chips turned around the corner, I immediately knew the reference of this Elizabeth Taylor headpiece. And this look is iconic. However, from the chin down, it goes in a completely opposite direction. I don't understand the severe departure from the original look and concept, because what I loved about this Elizabeth Taylor look is like the monochromatic nature of it all. The fact that it's all soft and white and pastel-y from like head to toe.
Maybe in the monochromatic, maybe if it was white, it would read a little bit better, especially with the silver shoe.
I know, I don't like this, unfortunately.
The dress is a no.
I do not like the organza leg of mutton sleeve. I do not like that V-neck neckline that is neither here nor there. I do not like that awkwardly placed slit. I do not like the length of it. And I do not like the overall shape of it. It's not doing anything for bag of shape. It's not giving. It's taking from me.
It's taking.
It's taking.
Yes. For the reference of Elizabeth Taylor, the headpiece, the hair, and the makeup is absolutely stunning. Bagga's mug is like not touched right now, okay? Even with a daisy in the middle of her forehead, she is still serving, okay? Which is a choice.
Yes.
But I would have to say for the garment itself, it's an absolute no for me. It's a little bit too 80s, maybe like she got it in a thrift store and it's just like upcycled and she said, oh, let me put a slit in it. That makes it much better. And it just reveals how short this dress is and how it just does not work on any level. And especially for this being your final runway, you being in the top 4, you're representing, I really expected something a little bit much better.
Thank you to Bag of Chips for at least bringing it to our knowledge that Elizabeth Taylor was British.
Yes, thank you for educating and schooling the kids, okay?
Not enough to get a toot. This is going to be a definite boot for me.
I'm gonna have to go ahead and boot it.
Up next, we have Blue Hydrangea.
Oh, Miss Blue. I'm actually really enjoying this from Blue. This being her final runway, I feel like this is who Blue is and elevated. So I absolutely am buying it for Blue, buying it for her aesthetic. I love the boot. I don't know if I loved all of this together, but she's sold it to me, so I'm buying it. She's like little Blue Peep. Okay.
Yes, little Blue Peep.
And I love the little dove detailing in the front. The dove on the back reminds me a little bit more of funeral home, but you know.
Like a funeral home spray. That would be, yes, next to our dearly departed. I love this powder blue color on Blue. It is so dreamy. It's so sweet. It's so adorable. I love the corset. I love how cinch she is with this very kind of like Dior silhouette skirt that's just, The sleeves make me irrationally angry. Like really angry, because for me, they kill the whole silhouette. They absolutely mess everything up, because the silhouette, the lines of this, what is that? You know, like what is about to come down this runway? I think that Blue's, her Horcrux is that she...
No way. No
like,
way.
Look, it's a Harry Potter reference, and it's like one of the few ones that I have. Her Horcrux, you know, like Blue puts all of these ideas into one look, and I just want to say, just straight to you, baby, Blue, you ain't got to do all that, boo. Like, oh my goodness, you do not have to do all that, boo. The boots, I don't understand the boots.
We know Blue loves a boot, a platform boot that laces up the front. She has worn these boots every other week.
If she had worn Bag of Chips shoes, baby, that would have been a complimentary shoe. But this clear platform ankle boot with the lace up cuts her in the weirdest place. It's frustrating because I feel like Blue's looks will be going in such a beautiful direction. Like they are so close, they are almost there. And then somewhere down the line, they're like, and let's add this ruffle, and let's add these sleeves, and let's add this detail in the back, and let's add a dove back here, and let's add these shoes. Like, girl, it does not require all of that. I know that we're saying it's Eleganza Extravaganza, but that doesn't mean you put every single idea into one look.
And I think that's been the trend that we've seen with Blue throughout the competition.
All season.
I love this dress. I love the fantasy of it all. I love how like it makes me think of a lullaby. It takes me somewhere whimsical. It reminds me of Blue's personality, her whimsy. And for me, this is Blue stepped up. The
dress, the corset, the skirt, toot. Her styling and execution of the look as a whole is a boot. And it's reluctant. I do not want to give her this boot. I really don't. But my heart's telling me that it's what I need to do.
So is that a boot?
It's a boot. It's a boot.
I'm going to give it a toot. Up next is Jujube.
I know what Jujube is capable of. We all know what Jujube is capable of.
I love the silhouette of this. I love that fabric. Maybe for a dance costume, it would be sickening. But I absolutely love the silhouette. Miss Jujube absolutely knows her silhouette. She knows how to proportionize her body.
It's a pretty dress. I love the matching gloves. I think the jewelry looks sickening. I think her silhouette, her body, her proportions all look great. I just wish that there was a little bit more.
The hair is a little bit of a letdown. I feel like if it's gonna be coiffed, it needs to be intentionally coiffed. We've seen Jujube and what she's capable of, even in this particular competition. So for this to be the Eleganza Extravaganza final grand finale, the runway, girl, I'm not getting it.
It sucks when you've seen someone produce something so unbelievably beautiful because you want to think back to that. And in my humble opinion, I feel like every time you return and step back into the workroom, go back onto that runway, you really want to be showing that you've taken the time to elevate yourself. And I don't feel like this is an elevated version of what Jujube has shown us before. I think it is a beautiful dress in comparison to the other things that we've seen her wear this season.
But I will actually give her a soft toot because there's nothing wrong with the silhouette. She looks absolutely gorgeous, but I just really wish that it would be stepped all the way up.
I will give it a soft toot.
Okay, I like the toot with a question mark on the end. Toot.
That's what it sounds like when you've had too much Chipotle.
Okay. Last but not least,
Mo Hart.
This is actually the level of pussy stepped up that I was expecting from these girls for a final runway. She could live in that color combination of that orange and pink because she absolutely looks stunning. This color on her, first and foremost, is eating. It's very much serving.
I feel like orange, especially on a dark complexion, just like, so delicious.
Orange melanated goddess. I absolutely live. The hair is very reminiscent of Mother, very much updo with the little tendrils down the side. The body is right. Our sister got on boobs this week. She got on hip pads. The silhouette is right.
I love this corset and how, it changes into like the skirt at the bottom. I would have done gold versus this silver holographic. I don't like the combination of silver and orange. I think if we're gonna go orange, we're gonna keep it warm, stick with gold, because I feel like that just makes like orange really, really sing.
She has stuck to her aesthetic with this long, over-the-top cape. I love the ruffle that she added around the edge to add a little bit more movement and a little bit more shape.
I feel like the skirt should have been cut with just like a little bit more romance, a little bit more of like a bit of a trumpet silhouette at the bottom. It's very straight because you see the way that the slit is like opening. It's pulling. It's really pulling at itself. I feel like that takes away from the glamour. It just doesn't feel like the skirt was given the amount of like detail and attention that it deserves. All in all, I feel like Mo has been absolutely serving it on the runway this season, and I feel like this look is such a beautiful last look to bring down the runway. An absolute toot for me.
That's a double toot. Trend alert!
Hometown pride, bringing some of your hometown into your eleganza.
Hometown heroes, go Dallas, Big D.
Yes, go Chicago, Windy City. Oh, makes me want a hot dog real bad.
Ooh, it's a barbecue, bitch. Ooh.
Ooh.
Our top toot of the week is Mo Hart.
Mo Hart. Yes.
Werq, sis. Ooh, you showed up and showed out. Melanin goddess.
Absolutely. Like, this is giving me supermodel of the world. This is giving me UK versus the world, but the world came to kick that ass, you know? Ra'Jah, I am so sad that this season is coming to a close. But don't worry, everybody. You can binge watch this entire season on WoW Presents Plus, except for in the UK and Canada. And can I just say, this is our last episode this season. It has been so much fun having the opportunity to toot and boot these looks, getting a chance to discuss and give critiques. It's just been so much fun, Ra'Jah. So thank you so much.
And I love the energy that we've brought this entire season. So y'all welcome. Okay, how about that?
That's how I